So we are going to start painting our color mixing chart, and you have this in your kit. So make sure that when it says blue up here that you're using this blue and not turquoise, because you want to use the same blue all the way down. You can experiment with that color later on. When it says brown, that's going to be right here. The blue is right here, and then your yellow is here. But when you're mixing, you're going to look at, this one says violet, so you're going to pick this purple right here. This one says green, so making sure you're staying on the left side of the paint palette or the pans. Orange is here. Yellow green, so yellow green, now we're switching over to the other side. And then we have blue green, and I don't see a blue green. Yes, I do. Here it is. So there's blue green right next to the yellow green. And then yellow orange is here next to the yellow green, and red violet is over here. So make sure you're looking at this as you're mixing your colors. Also, you should have gotten a pipette, which is just like a dropper, and you can use that to easily make yourself some nice puddles for your color. You can also use it to activate the paint. So I know I'm going to use blue, so I want to just kind of get that wet as I'm getting ready to use it. I'm going to be using brown, put some water on my brown, and put a little water on my yellow. You can just leave that right in the cup. You should also have gotten a new brush, and this has sizing in it, so it's almost like a glue. It's going to be a little bit hard. Whenever you get a new brush, tap it in your water, and you'll see bubbles come out, and your bristles will get a lot softer. So now they're softer. And whenever I start for the day, even though I've used this brush before, I'm still going to wet it and dry it on the paper towel. So I'm going to use my small brush, and I'm going to get some blue. So this whole row is going to be blue, but you're doing them one at a time. So I'm putting some blue into my puddle, and then I'm going to be mixing blue and red together. So I'm going to wipe this off on the paper towel so I don't have to change my water so frequently. And I forgot to put a drop of water on there. So I'm going to take a little bit of red and make a puddle of red. Okay, so now I'm going to combine blue and red together to get the color that goes in the top box. So you can also take your pipette, and if you want equal amounts, you can just put it right in there. Or you can do a little bit at a time until you're happy with the color. You can test this on some scrap paper. When you have the color you want, I would dab it on the paper towel so you don't have too much, and then just dip the tip in so it just goes, it kind of acts like a sponge and comes up about halfway on the brush. And I'm going to put my finger here in the tray, kind of as a stand to keep my hand steady, and just go across. Now, if you don't feel confident using the square or the flat brush, it's called, you can do this with the small round brush, which is this one. That's a round. The reason it's called round is because the ferrule, the metal ferrule at the end, is round. This is called a flat. The metal ferrule has been flattened. Okay, so then I'm gonna do all the blues first, and then add brown to my color. So I'm gonna go with violet next, and I still have some blue here. So let's wet the violet. Make sure we're getting the right color. So we have purple or violet, same color right here. So let's put a little water on there. And I know I'm going to be using brown, so I've wet that. Let's wet the green and the orange. Let's wet a few colors that we know we're going to use, so that I don't have to worry about changing my water to get fresh, clean water to put in the colors. You could have 2 cups instead if you want. So now I'm going to take my blue and I'm going to add to it a little bit of violet. I could use this violet and put it in there. I think I want to try my pan violet and see if it's different. And it's a little bit different than that violet. Okay, so I'm going to bring some of that blue over here. And I feel like there's not enough blue. So I'm going to get a little more blue and bring it over. Now I have the blue violet. Still doesn't look quite as violet as I'd like. Put a little more violet in there. And when I'm going back to the pan, I'm either rinsing my brush or dabbing it on the paper towel. And before I paint it on, dab it on the paper towel and then just soak up the very tip. And again, support your hand using your pinky and paint that in. You can go sideways with the brush. You can also turn the brush. Sometimes the bristles come out. If that happens to you, you can wait for it to dry to remove the bristles. Or I have a little trick. You can take a smaller clean brush and use it backwards, pushing it. Not going to come off nicely. Not going to play nice. Okay, well, I'm just putting it to the edge and I'll collect it later. I'll fix that little spot. And try it down again. We got it. Alright, so the next color is green. So we need blue. So you can see where you're really going to need a lot of blue. So let's make another puddle and bring some more blue over here. And the next color that we're going to be using is green. So I'm going to scrape that on the edge. Try not to waste any of my paint. Dab it on the paper towel and then rinse the brush. Alright, so we want green next, which is this green, not that green. And let's make another puddle for the green. It's got a little blue in it, but that's okay because we're using blue. And here's the green. Now we want to take a little bit of the blue. I'm going to use my pipette, soak some up, and pour it in. Stir it around. Again, putting my pinky there. The little bristles just want to come out. You can also go this way if you want, but I have a tendency to like get into the white spot when I do that, which I don't really want. So I'm just going to leave those little hairs until it's dry, and then they should just come right off. Now if it's puddling like that, you can tap your brush on the paper towel and it will act like a sponge and absorb the excess if you'd like to have a nice even tone on there. So the next step is going to be orange. Make myself a puddle. Of course it has some blue in it. This is why it would be nice to have a second cup. And now I have my orange. I'm going to rinse my brush because I don't want my brush to overpower with the orange. And then I'm going to take the pipette, take some blue, and put it into the orange. And what you'll notice is because these are complementary colors, it's It's almost like adding a brown to it, and it grays down or darkens down the orange to a brown color. If you want this to be more orange, you can just add some more orange to it. So let's try that. And that's bringing it a little bit more back to orange. Let's take a little more. And then I dry my brush on here and then reload it with just the tip. Support with my pinky and paint that on. Now, if it's too dry, you just put the tip of the brush back in like that. Now, if you're a perfectionist, you can use the little round brush and go in and paint the edges. It's up to you. So now we could keep going down with the blue and add the yellow green, the blue green. And the yellow green is right here. So if I turn it like that, I see that it's right there. And I'm gonna put it, I'll put it here because I'm gonna stop soon. So I'm gonna put my yellow green there and just mix it with some of this blue until I like the color. So nobody's chart's gonna be identical. It depends on the amount of the pigment that you put in. Dry it off on the paper towel. And then paint in the yellow green with the blue. So it takes that really vibrant yellow green and it sort of almost makes it an army green. Or a camouflage green. Again, I'm drying my brush and using it like a sponge to absorb the excess. So you can do the same thing. You're gonna make a new puddle for your blue, and then you're gonna go to your blue-green. Blue-green is here. Then you'll do your yellow-orange, which is here, and then you'll do your red-violet. When you're done with that, then you can start on the browns. If you want to continue, and you haven't run out of time, now your palette is pretty messy, so if you absorb this, it's going to give you a nice clean spot to continue with making new colors. You don't want to contaminate your chart by using this palette and having these colors bleed into on the tray with the new color you're trying to make. So a little trick, this looks pretty messy. If I open it up, you will find that there's still a little bit of the paper towel left that you can use. So you don't have to run over to the counter and get a new paper towel right away. But once you have it clean, you will need new paper towels. We are mixing blue with blue-green, yellow-orange, and red-violet. So I have my blue-green, clean my brush off, and then I'm going to use the pipette to take some of this blue and put it into the blue-green. look at some of those brush hairs. Just let it dry and get them off later. So the next column is going to be brown. So we're going to be mixing all these same colors here, but with brown. So instead of having blue as my central color, I need this to be brown. So I have to begin again. And I'm going to take my paper towel and just absorb everything in the tray. And then I'm going to add brown to my main puddle. Get lots of brown. Scrape it off, dab it on the paper towel, rinse it in my rinse bucket, dry it again, and then we're going to go through the same process. So I'm going to add red to one of my puddles. Use the pipette, soak up some of that brown. If you put the pipette right into this and touch it to the surface, it's going to be less likely to splatter. So I have it mixed. I'm going to dab it on my paper towel, reload just the tip, and do my red-brown. Doesn't look all that brown to me. You could add a little more brown if you want. Let's see if that makes a difference. Yep, makes it a little more brown. Sometimes if you want to change it, it's better to let it dry and then do it another layer on top, which is called a glaze. Okay, so now we're going to use violet, and again, making sure that you're checking which one you're using, not the blue violet, but the purple or violet, which is this one. So I'm going to use it over here where it's already a little bit purple. And bring some of this brown over there. You can do it like that, or you can use the pipette. Now, you can see here that I probably had some paint on my finger that I was resting there. So the best way to get that off is to take a clean bit of paper towel, wet that, and press it on. Now, I don't want to paint over this area till it's dry when I make a repair like that. Just kind of scrub it. It's a little stain, but it's not bad. Okay, so we're going to do yellow-green next. last one, we're going to be doing yellow all the way down. So we're using this yellow, which is that one, and then mixing it with all these colors.
I remember when we were staring at a photo. Don't forget the way you look me in the eyes. And I keep you in my heart. In my heart is where you are. I still think of you. I want you coming back. I remember when we were staring at a photo. Don't forget the way you look me in the eyes. And I keep you in my heart. My heart is where you are. I still think of you. I want you coming back. Call me when you want. Baby, I can take it on my heart. Yeah, yeah. Give me your love. Yeah, yeah. Call me when you want. Baby, I can take it on my heart. Yeah, yeah. Give me your love. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So let that dry, and then we'll do the value study.